you. Yeah. Okay.
That's amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't ask for too much, you know.
Yeah, man, I tell you, you get it going. When you get it going, you get it going.
Yeah, so now that it's rolling, I am a guy from a place, Charm City Bipper, Quis The Vndl. Marquis is the name my mama blessed me with. I'm here with an individual.
Yes.
Who has done a lot of things before any of you have thought of doing them. I know some of y'all be saying you want to own a farm. You ain't about that action.
Yeah,
you say you want
to
to be out here in community. You ain't about that action.
Yeah.
You say you want to have a big family. You know where to start. Some of y'all say y'all want boys. And, I mean, this guy, this man, this individual.
Yes, sir.
Spiritual leader as
grateful.
well as a
Grateful.
active individual.
Grateful.
And he's already using the word that I use because we're grateful first, grounded first, and we know who makes it possible.
Oh, yeah, God is great.
And it is so beautiful to be able to watch from a distance, then come to speak to you, and then have the things that you live in the firm. This is Mr. Carrington. How are you? You want to make a special cameo? You can hop in the back real quick and just wave.
Oh, my goodness.
We got a superstar with us. He does backflips in the cafeteria.
Oh, my goodness gracious. In the
cafeteria. This is who really got to get the interview first. You got to lean into the middle and just say hi to everybody.
Say hello.
Say hello to the world.
Hi.
Yeah,
so what's your name?
Amos.
You're a little guy.
That's why that flip's so easy. I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
So a flip at 6'4" is like a lot to flip. This brother, he gonna have it for a long time. He's starting early, and he has
real early.
A great individual raising him. So that's the part too.
I'm grateful.
It's good to see you again, brother.
Say hello, and then I'm gonna finish this.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hello.
All right, man. Take care. That's what's up.
Everybody, it is spring break too.
It is spring break, so everybody's home.
Okay. We got footballer over here.
Yeah. They got to come over and say hello.
Team captain, how you doing?
Oh, no doubt.
I'm good. It's good to see you. Want to see how? I had to set up the how to the people.
Yeah.
You can hop in if you want to. You just sit with us. Yeah.
So yeah, man. I'm grateful for all of this stuff that has fallen into my hands, and you know, you just do what you do. And my family, we just show up. That's one of the things that we do. And it's consistency, is showing up, and it's doing the thing, not making a lot of noise, just kind of showing up and getting it in. And then after a while, people start to see what you've been doing all this long time.
Absolutely.
So,
and it's beautiful that you start with that, because you know I get my long-winded introduction, and a lot of my insecurity about being in a space like this was I didn't feel I was showing up enough.
Wow.
So as people are starting to tell me, man, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this, you're doing that, I was like, yo, you're saying I'm doing a lot, and then I'm going into spaces where people don't know about the things I'm doing. So I didn't wear that out with me, but I was grateful to be able to do the work because it came so natural.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some of the work you're doing, and man, it's fantastic. I mean, and I've been in this kind of game before, and you know, it looks like you got it going on, and I'm really grateful, and I'm thankful that you stretched out, and despite what's going on, you got started.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how we got to do it. Despite what's going on around us, we got to keep looking forward and keep moving forward, even if we're crawling.
You got to crawl to walk.
Yeah.
And appreciate walking.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes in life, you know, you are crawling and you can run, but a situation brings you to your knees sometimes. And so when that happens,
yes, indeed.
What we do is we continue to look forward. We continue to look to what we are here to do. Because a lot of people don't have purpose. They don't have drive. They don't have anything. But if you just say, I'm here for a purpose. I'm here. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm going in this direction because that's what's on my heart. And just keep going in that direction. You'll succeed.
What purpose did you set out with?
Well,
Was it like an intention and then it turned into a purpose?
you know what? Everything I do with intention. So I put it out in the universe, right? I said I wanted a farm, and not too long after that, a lady came to me and said, "Hey, you know, could you hold my goats for me because I need a place for them to be for a little while because she was getting some heat from the locals." And I said sure. And so she brought the goats down here. She's like, "Oh, you're so open and welcoming. I'm getting out of the game on rabbits." So she brought me all her stuff. So it was like an instant farm. And then she gave me chickens. She gave me everything that I needed. And I didn't have to. It was a gift.
You took me back because with music for me, I just kept saying I wanted to do music, and I was like telling it, and I sat, and eventually, my mom was dating someone who let me use some of his old equipment.
Sure.
So I ended up with speaker monitors.
There you go.
Ended up with like a MPC. Eventually wanted it back because that's how it would go. But it was funny to have started with it, and then another friend of mine, we had been doing a lot at the time, and he had just got done with the old MacBook. And he was putting it up, and he was like, "I'm trying to get 500." He could have got 5. He gave it to me for 2. So I started. That was my first MacBook.
That's what's up.
I ran that into the ground a little bit, but I used it for what it was needed for. But
you learned with it,
and I just love that because it's like in that question, do you want these goats? Nah, give me them goats for. I said I want a farm. It's like it's sometimes like it's coming to us.
Yeah,
but our attitude can dismiss our blessing.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So I was open and I was willing to share my space with her without any strings attached. And, some people know that I started a Baltimore gift economy. And so that's how I approach life. So it's not just a organization, a company, a slogan. It's what I do. If you say I'm this and you never really, it never really becomes a part of you, then I don't know if that's really what you're about. But everything that I've done is really about giving and receiving. And even when I go back into my thoughts about my biblical training and all that kind of stuff, I go, it's all giving and receiving. When the opportunity comes for you to receive it with grace and honor. When opportunity comes for you to give it with dignity and honor to not only yourself, but to others. Because that's what's going to keep us all together and sane. And really it's about needs. Did I need a farm? No, I didn't need a farm, but the farm was calling me. And so since it called me, I said, I want to do this. And then it started to really, I don't like to use the word manifest, but the universe starts to work with you and co-collaborate with you when you say, this is what I want. And you continue to say, this is what I want. You don't cancel it out. You're going to get it.
I think of it oftentimes like I look at the highest as a father relationship, father-son.
Yes.
So it's like dad coming in, hey man, I heard you said you like football. You said you like how you see Tom Brady throwing that thing. I got some guys that want you to show up here at this time. You can choose to sleep in and not listen to what dad told you, or you can go out to that space and whatever you got. Because a lot of times when I was coming up, I was like, well, I don't got no cleats.
Right.
I'm gonna just continue this now. I don't got no cleats, and I never wore shoulder pads, and I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I don't really know. Like I ain't never caught the bus, and it's like in the moments where I fell away from it, that opportunity was major. Like that was the day Ray Lewis show up. Like that's the day Ray Lewis. But it's like if when I've leaned into it, the bus was there waiting for me. The bus broke down, so another one came right when I was leaving the house. I found cleats on the way. maybe I didn't even need cleats. It was just an intro class. We're like,
Yeah,
brother,
yeah.
just show up and watch.
Yeah.
And we're going to get y'all all y'all gear since y'all came. Like,
Mhm.
those are the moments that people don't, like, you don't set out to find that.
No.
That finds you.
Yeah.
But you got to be open to even going to the space.
You got to be open, and innocent energy with becoming open. Our emotions is what E is motion. It's our emotion. They're in motion, right?
Energy, emotion.
Yeah, energy, emotion. So our emotions allow for these things to happen. When you say, you know, God, I want this, and you say it with the fervor, and you ask your Father for that emotion and that sincerity that you're asking, and with the expectation that you're going to get it. That's what God set the universe up like that. And he said on the seventh day, he said it was good, because he set the whole space up. I mean, the other day, I was on Saturday, a friend of mine called me last week and said, hey, this thing is going on, this Harriet Tubman statue is coming to this farm called Button Farm. And I was like, and it was in Montgomery County. And at this moment, my car is in the shop. So I talked to the guy. I said, yeah, this thing's happening tomorrow. I think it's in Montgomery County. He said, I'm off. I said, okay. He said, I'll go with you up to Button Farm. And I was like, so then when I get up there and I meet the guy that's the curator for the historical plantation that they have there, he starts to inform me, these are some things that I can do. So land access to me was the real issue, but for him, it wasn't. So all of these things happen in tandem. So what I was looking for was land. So what is showing up is land all over the place. I got a call this morning for 500 acres. 500 acres, man. Like in Anne Arundel County.
This is what's so funny, and it's back to what I'm just sitting with so much. It's not where you expect for it to be.
Yeah.
You say you want shoes, so you're going to the shoe store.
Right.
But you got a big cousin who grew out of his closet and has been looking for somebody to give shoes.
Yes.
We don't always recognize that your problem the solution to your problem lies in somebody else's problem.
Absolutely.
The solution to I don't know who I'm going to talk to is this gap in our city where there's so many people doing things like a 500-acre farm being a possibility in your life.
Yeah.
It's like you're not blessed with that, so you can say you have access to that, and nobody watching this can collaborate with you.
Everybody can collaborate with me.
Everybody literally is now open.
Yeah.
Like that's too many acres to not have collaboration.
Yeah,
right?
To not have collaboration.
But it's just that's why I just keep coming back to this term, community. Yeah. It's a unity. And I'm going to find another way to build this, but we're communing. We're meeting and unifying. We're finding ways to share these resources. Yeah, it's just so much.
And when I think about community, I hear the word commune. That means to break bread together, to spend time together, to really share what you have. I mean, when we get stuff, people started now bringing stuff and putting it on the table. We have this thing on Mondays and Wednesdays where for the last 11 years, we've been going and showing up at our partner stores and saying, do you have something to donate today? And they say, sure. And they give it to us. And we've been bringing it to our communities and sharing it with our communities. In fact, we go to all organic stores, right? And so, in fact, I've been eating organic food that I can't even afford. For 11 years. And when people say you're feeding the community, I come out here and I'm right here at the Peace Park, right over here. We set it out. And when we first started, people didn't understand it. And so they started, messing it up. What is this stuff? And then it's taken 7 years. I think it was like around the 5-year mark. People started to engage. They started to talk to the kids. No, don't throw that away. That's food, man. And the community started making the corrections. Coming down my street used to have, I used to pick up 5 bags of trash on my street weekly. You come down my street now, the community is now picking it up. I barely can pick up stuff in front of my house because people come up from the community and pick it up. So it's the demonstration.
Modeling.
Yeah.
You like modeling, you're standing in the window with the outfit on, and eventually somebody like, hey, that don't look too bad on him. A lot of people walk by like that's a horrible fit. Like what is it? And think you're in the mall, right?
Yeah.
There's that's the joint in the window. It's like, oh, that display in the window, that look cool. And then you with your cousin like, that look dumb. You really gonna put a puffer on in the winter, bro? We wearing North Face jackets, bro. What you on puffers for, yo?
Yeah,
you
man.
You want to wear a vest over your hoodie?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to feel good in it. And I think like you should probably pick up some trash in your neighborhood because it's your neighborhood, your city.
Yeah. What I did it as a walking meditation. And so
two birds, one seed.
So what was happening was I was grateful for every piece of trash that I picked up, because now I was putting it in its proper home. So what we have to do is reframe things. We can say, oh, there's trash in my neighborhood. No, be grateful
to be able
to walk, to be able to talk, to stand erectus,
yes.
And to be able to grab that thing and put it in the bag. I went and got $2 grabbers from Harbor Freight, and I got a bag, and I started picking the stuff up. And it was a meditation. It was me with the land, with the trash, and saying thank you. And we have to reframe things because it looks horrible on the outside, but my neighborhood looks beautiful now.
And the power of words.
Yes.
It's truly the power of words, because the words will give you a space to do something beautiful. But if you set out thinking this is just some stupid thing I have to do, that's what it will be the entire time you do it.
Absolutely. So, and not only changing the words, what you do is you change the energy flow
and perspective around it.
Absolutely. Yes. And when you do that, God works. That's when God comes to work.
In this room helping these kids and nobody. And it was toward the end. It was bitter. Yeah. It was a bitter feeling at times, but then I would sit every now and then and be like, what have I gained from this time I've spent with these awesome individuals? What have they given me that I don't recognize? And when I sit in that, I'm joyous. Sitting in the other frame was like, it was so annoying, and the parent is like, no, people opened space for me. Yes. They gave me a lot of opportunity to fail, because it wasn't all peaches and cream. It wasn't all beauty, right? But the beautiful part is when you step away and you will continue to allow it to be beautiful, rather than harping on parts that unsettle you.
So what that practice is it is called reframing, but what you do is you shift everything. You shift it. You shift your energy. You shift your mood. You shift everything. And we have the power to do that at any given time.
Every moment.
And it's moment by moment.
Yes, it is.
It's moment by moment. So it's moment by moment, Doc.
It's funny because I'm sitting right now and it's about to get hot again. You know? Now we go from it's so cold to now it's too hot. And the sun is like annoying. It's like I'm grateful that the sun is here for me to just say hi. And then I'm also sitting with, like, my grandmother used to sit outside with an umbrella. And it's funny because it's like we wanted to be in the house with the air, and like she just outside, and if you still enough, you're gonna catch that breeze.
You're gonna catch the breeze, Doc.
It's there for you,
and it's a beautiful thing.
It's that perspective.
And I just lost my pig recently. And Mr. Porkington came to this neighborhood. He's been with me for 2.5 years, and we've had journey. I mean, Mr. Porkington and I, we've had some real journeys, a lot of adventures. And one of the things that Mr. Porkington did when he came to the community was he embraced the community in a quiet way. Mr. Porkington never talked, but he was able to come into the community, and everybody loved him. Everybody, people were afraid of him at first. Oh, that's a pig. Oh my gosh, he's going to eat me, and all this kind of stuff. And Mr. Porkington just showed love. You know, rub his back. He wants you to scratch his back, and he moves and he responds to you. And last summer we had him out here in the park because we had a summer camp that we do here in the park, and it's free to all the community kids. And we allow, we invite people to partner with us, and we had a lot of. Last year was just amazing. So Mr. Porkington came out to the park and let the kids pet him, and just he laid down, let them rub his stomach and all that. And they were just so happy. They'd never come that close to a pig before. They never experienced that. So he opened a way for understanding for a lot of people in this neighborhood that are fearful of animals.
And I love stories such as that one. Those are recurring themes because it's so big on reference. A lot of times in the community that I've come to understand and I love, there aren't enough references, but there are.
Yeah.
The references at times are things that I have to look back and reflect on.
Sure.
I was at the library after school every day. There's children who didn't have a library like Enoch Pratt when I was growing up, right? We were there. We were rambunctious at times. They would put us out, but they gave us grace enough to let us back in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There were read-alouds by different librarians. Yeah. Many of the librarians were very patient. I ended up working at that library.
Wow.
When I was like 18, like 18 to 23, I was at the library in different facets.
Right.
But it was hilarious because I was coming across some of these same librarians that I saw when I was younger.
Right.
Whether they remembered me or not was funny, but some of them did.
Yeah.
And I had to live with whatever I did in the past, right? So it's these different things and these different intersections, but I just keep coming back to reference because I'm giving any kid out here that reference. There are many different spaces in our community that we overlook and don't give credence to. And for the people who pet Mr. Porkington, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have Mr. Archie here who doesn't just have Mr. Porkington.
Yeah.
Doesn't just have access to that. Not only do you have a wealth of experience, you have a wealth of knowledge.
I'm grateful.
And wisdom and gratitude.
I'm grateful.
And you're open to share it.
Yes. Sir.
So it's like, I just sit so much with all of the things that I've been given, and it's not material, but it's so tangible.
It is. It's very tangible.
It's not material, but it's so tangible. And faith is belief in things not seen. I believe in the wisdoms I've been given.
Right.
I believe in the knowledge that I receive.
Right.
So it's like just that reference alone could be what makes one of those children want to become a marine biologist, even though it was a pig, right? She may want to go, she or he may want to go study dolphins and whales, like these new conceptions that come to people.
Yeah.
Because they see, like, oh, you're a scientist and you're from my city.
Yeah.
And you're black.
Yeah.
You're not really, you really.
Man, I'm working on that too. I'm working on that. Yes, sir.
It's just, but I'm big on. The world doesn't have to call me it. I'm going to be it before I leave the house. Right? We're already everything we said we would be.
Yeah.
But when you step into the world, it's like, nah, you ain't really that guy. You're not really a guy from a place. You're not really a podcast. Nah, I'm a podcast.
Oh, yes, sir.
And I'm going to keep stepping in.
Oh, that's what's up.
Oh, you're not really a teacher.
And you got all the support you need.
You're not certified to be a teacher, but I'm teaching.
You are an educator.
Well, all right. You're not really like. It don't look like what they assume it's supposed to. I don't have the shirt and top, but I could put it on and it look good in it too. Yeah. How you doing? But it's hilarious how much life is for us.
Yeah.
When I say everything is for my betterment, it's moments that didn't look like they didn't look like they'd be my most joyous moments.
Yeah.
When I had to get on a bus to go to the North Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what that was gonna be like.
You
There's
know what
people
that's
in that
like.
class I ain't really care for. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be like a week away from moms.
Yeah.
They say they got good food. My mom's cook better.
Yeah,
Moms cook
right.
better.
Right,
For
right.
real. So I'm like, hey, they say they got good food, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I go. And then I'm there. I'm like, wow, it's beautiful. Like
Oh,
we
yeah.
out by the bay.
Yes, sir.
Like, and this is North Bay. In North Bay, you know, we out there. The water's beautiful. We had zip lining. We was hooping indoors. We was hooping outdoors.
Absolutely.
We doing rope challenges. I was like, oh, and it's hilarious how that is a reference.
Yeah.
When I'm stepping into yoga.
Yeah.
That is a reference when I'm stepping into spaces where we supposed to feel uncomfortable. I don't do supposed to. I do what's there and how do I respond when it presents me.
You belong there.
I belong everywhere I go.
You belong everywhere you go. And
this is a world that was given to.
We're citizens of the world.
Absolutely.
I think what people don't really tap into is that we are citizens of this world. We were born here. We don't have to stay in this geographical area. We can go outside. We have potential that is far beyond our imagination. So we have to kind of step into that. And I wanted to go back to Mr. Porkington, because when you talk about those times where things weren't what you would like them to have been, when I was fighting for Mr. Porkington and Channel 13 came out and all that, and put us on blast, and put really animal control on blast, because they were trying to do some things that wasn't quite right. But that was a moment in time. And those people weren't my enemies. They were just trying to do their job. They were, at times misinformed about some of the things that I was informed about, and I was trying to inform them, but it was a power differential at that time. But I want to tell you, when Mr. Porkington had his medical emergency, they were one of the first people I called. And Sharon Miller came out to my house. She's the director of animal control. She's not standing behind a desk and saying, y'all go out there and help him. She came herself. And she came and helped euthanize him. And she came as a support to me. And the officers that I had that problem with before, they came with loving kindness. We hugged each other, and we did the work that we had to do to euthanize him because he was in so much pain. But not only that, after it was all over, Mr. Porkington's laying back there, I got a call, and they said, well, would you be open to him going to science? And I said, yeah, I would certainly be open to that. Let me talk to my wife, and then I'll get right back at you. So we talked about it, and we was like, this is perfect. So not only did she come and help, she arranged for Mr. Porkington to be a part of science with the forensic folks here in Baltimore City. And so they came and got Mr. Porkington. I was able to have closure with Mr. Porkington at the euthanasia or euthanizing him. I had closure with also burying him. And it was such a sweet moment. And then the lady called me today and said, we are so grateful that you were able and willing to do this. Now Mr. Porkington will go on and teach other people. It would teach forensic students how to excavate a site. He will be a part of this incredible learning experience for so many people. How he started out is how you ever heard that saying, how you live is how you die? He lived educating everybody. Not a word. In death, he's educating so many folk.
Model.
That's
it. A model of love. A model of just, wow.
And it just, for me, that was just like, the director called me today from the Baltimore City, that that group, the forensics, Baltimore City Forensics, and she expressed her gratitude. And I was like, I was so grateful that you all guys came. It was mutually beneficial. It was a gift from me to you and from you to me.
People are allowed to wear different hats.
They
at
are.
different points in our lives.
Yes.
And that's the power of open-mindedness.
Yeah.
Because when you close your mind to it, God knows how that process would have been without all of that assistance.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Think about, and I want y'all to understand, Mr. Porkington is not a little.
No,
he was not little by any.
I weighed him over the summertime. He was 360 pounds.
Yes.
But I would venture to say Mr. Porkington was every bit of 600 pounds. Every bit.
It's heavier than a scooter.
And he's a big boy.
So just sitting with how you didn't allow a bitter feeling to ruin a moment of growth.
Nope.
How you recognize it was a moment to grow. And another thing that is so heavy is like when you're reflecting on something, you can start to put it together. But in that moment, it's dark. It's dark. Like you I mean, you get the call, but do you jump right away to it? You know, I'll say me personally, because that's what the kids say now. Me personally, I'm not so quick to jump at everything that comes to me, and I have to go sit at times with the next decision. But I don't sit for too long, and I make a calculated decision or calculated agreement. I also sit with how no is not eternal.
No,
I you can throw no and say yes later, right? But I just
no is for right now. No, it's not forever. And no can be a yes in a different circumstance. And so what you have to know is I used to work with kids with autism, and I had to write these social stories. So I had to explain to them what no meant. You know, no could mean forever, but usually it isn't.
No, oftentimes it's circumstantial.
Yeah, it really is.
And that's why I just love so much the story, because it's like the hat they were wearing was based on the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where I read it, but it was this circumstance where somebody was going through a lot and everybody felt like an enemy. And somebody close to them told them, say bless everybody involved. Say bless all of them. Express gratitude for the roles they're playing.
Absolutely.
Because when I watch a bird flying, I understand that's his assignment.
That's his assignment.
That's his assignment. When I see a police officer doing certain things, I understand that's their assignment.
Yeah.
I understand that people can go beyond what is called for on their assignment and leave a little smeckle on my roof.
Right.
And make light of it, but I understand people go beyond assignment, right?
Yeah.
That's where justice comes in.
Yeah.
But justice is not mine to have. They turned up for a second. But justice that isn't always my role. I'm not always meant to step up and do that. I recently had a situation that I heard of that upset me in a heavy way. And it's one of those things where you can only observe it. Right? It's like somebody's hurt and you want to jump. I'm so big on respond rather than react, because a reaction takes a lot to correct in certain situations.
Absolutely. Well, we're designed to, our brains are designed to say, you know, this is safe, this is unsafe. I've seen this before and it's definitely not safe. So your brain goes into automatic mode. And because I have learned that through my study of the brain and working with people with trauma, myself having been traumatized in so many different ways, and being humbled to say, I don't know everything. I'm going to be in this moment and be open to what comes. And, you know, as long as it's not going to kill me, right?
Yes.
I got to be open to what's going to come. And a lot of people, a lot of men, that's very difficult because we want to control the situation. And when they came that first time and called the news and everything, you know, I wanted to control the situation. I wanted to get them to back off, you know. But this time they came in such love, it was just like, wow. I needed that. And that is the science. It only takes one person. But if I count correctly, I had about 8 people that supported me through that process. I mean, not only supported me, held my hand the whole time and kept encouraging me along the way and asking me, is it okay if we do this? And I was like, yeah, it's all right. And they go ahead and do it. And this is okay every step of the way.
You're transitioning from fear to love.
Man.
Because it's so much fear involved with everything that we want to do.
Yes.
It's fear involved.
Yes.
It's fear when I'm doing them first sets of 50 push-ups and this thing starting to do and then the elbows start cracking and I realize I'm sore for like 3 days after. It's fear involved.
Yes, sir.
With getting back out there.
Yes, sir.
But that's not finna stop it. You know, like you there's fear involved with it's fear and it's hurt. Waking up seeing Mr. Porkington gone after all these years and all of these moments that you shared, right?
Yeah.
It's pain and all of this, and in those moments, that is still not an excuse to close up on your love.
Right.
That's one of the times we have to open up the most, and I come back to it a lot. In isolation, is nothing but destruction. Nothing but destruction.
Isolation is the worst thing. I think people isolate themselves because they want to stay safe, and that's what this is all about. You know, while Jesus came, he came that you would have life and have it more abundantly. And what he did is he leaned into those moments. He leaned into those moments and said, "No, you can show love in the middle of this.
Yes, you can.
And let me show you." Right?
Let me not only say it, but let me model it.
Yes.
Let me be it.
Let me show you. And then he said, I and my Father are one. And so you become one with the thing that you're going through. And you become one with it. And now this story has expanded in such a way that I don't have to say much. People calling me. People saying, wow, that was so touching. I saw these pictures. I had to call you. That is God's projecting his love off of your life. Off of your life. And you're in the middle of your pain, in the middle of your anguish. He said, let the weak say I'm strong.
Let the weak say, absolutely.
Yeah.
The power of and that's the life that we put in our tongue.
Yeah, man. And it's in our tongue. It's in the way we reframe things. It's in the way that we can sit through things. Because my wife even asked me, why would you ask her to be involved? Because she's animal control. She's gonna, hurt you. I said, I don't have anything to lose. I have everything to gain.
Everything to gain. I love
everything to gain. And the way that rolled out, it was mutually beneficial for everyone, even for her. Even for the lady that came out with that heart, with that, in that way, it was beneficial to her. And then she started telling me about the classes they're going to be doing. I said, please let me know about those classes. I would love to support you. And I'd love to give you, what I have and open up and allow that to happen. So anyhow, may Mr. Porkington go on and live forever in his work and what he has done. And may our lives be just as enriched as we move through this life and through this journey, and that people would say, there lies a man that lived in love. People misunderstand me all the time. I can't help that. People misunderstand what my intentions are, what I'm trying to do, and I go, I can't help that you have that view, but at the same time, it's like when that snake fastened to the hand of the one, I'm trying to remember who that was, and he reached into the sticks, and the snake reached out and grabbed his hand, and the snake fell off, and they were like looking at him for a long while, saying, "Wait a minute, he's not falling. He's not. Wait, that was a viperous snake. It just fastened to his hand, but he's not falling." So it's a Bible story. I'm trying to remember it, but yeah, It's that when people look and they expect you to fall, there you are rising, because that power is not.
It's greater than
greater
all of
than
us.
me.
Absolutely.
It's greater than me.
So much greater.
So it's going to expand itself and show itself strong. And I just happen to be standing there, so people think it's me, but no, it's God.
I left the school with that. It's like anything you're grateful for me ever given, don't give me the praise for it. Send it up higher than this. Well, send it beyond this stage.
I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to receive it.
I receive it.
Yeah.
So I received it, and the way I receive it is how I talk to God. Right. So I'm like, thank you for allowing me to have health space.
Absolutely.
So I'm big on that. Yeah. And I truly say safety is an illusion.
It is.
And it's like,
it is.
It's sometimes, it's problematic because, a lot of times I would feel, I have to protect what I have because it took so much to get it. And to say that it took so much to get it is to make it as if I was the reason I received it. Right. So even my image, it's like I could lose my image. I'm not the reason that you see me this way.
Right.
You're not seeing if you saw what I see, if you saw what I saw before I stepped into this space, you wouldn't want me in it.
Right.
And that's one of the problems with life at times. Like if you saw the all of the insecurity that if the insecurities what the world saw, right, none of us would be able to shine. Right. But I have to rid my mind of that when I'm moving into these spaces and allow people to call me and allow myself to be what they're calling me. Allow myself to be this loving, this open, this leader. I was like, you see me as a leader? My mother used to say that to me all the time as a kid. Be a leader, not a follower.
You know, when I first met you, I saw that you were a leader. And I don't know if I said it. I probably said it to you because I usually do that. I usually walk up to, I go, hey, what's up, brother? And, you know, what's going on? I'll call you Doc or something like that to give you a name that is worthy of adoration. So, when I first met you, I was like, man, that dude right there, he doing some things. He going somewhere.
And it's such a blessing.
Yeah.
To be able to have it be reflected back to me. Because it's like we put things out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not always fully open about it. But I only had one intention. Like I just said I want to see a change. And I didn't know what seeing a change looked like. I just kept saying I want to see a change. Freddie Gray's murdered. Mike Brown was murdered the year before.
Yeah.
It was so many black men murdered that looked like me, were close in age, and it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm in college. I'm sitting in classes and I'm hearing about pontification that I got no time for. You're telling me about these sociological ideas and it feels good when I leave, and then I look at your life and you're not living what you're teaching me.
Right.
And you're actually locking your doors when you see me in a parking lot, or you're uncomfortable in this conversation at 8 o'clock after this class, and it's awkward. And I'm irritated just by that concept, right? So as I'm sitting with what I'm having to reel with, and a lot of times the black experience naturally is schizophrenic.
Yeah.
I'm saying that to say,
altered
realities is what schizophrenia is.
Yeah.
We live in a constant altered reality.
Yeah.
When I'm having to have double speak and wear a veil in one space and show up, and I just got so damn tired of it.
Yeah.
And my word as of late is integrity. I want everybody to have a similar story about me. I want them to have similar laughs about my flaws, because my flaws are oftentimes what they lean on in the end, and that's what takes it down. But it was never about me to begin with. So I just sit with like so much of it, and I was at a tech job, and I had an opportunity to get more certs and skills, and I just said, this doesn't feel right. I was going to get an A+ cert, and I was going to work up from an A+ cert to look into cybersecurity certs. And it was like, I'm diving into these books and going further away from what is calling me. And I didn't know it was calling me. Because the funniest part is I did daycare at 12.
Wow.
My big cousin had a daycare out the house.
Oh, that's what's up.
She was watching people's kids, and she was like, "You want to come through?" She gave me a couple dollars every
Yeah.
week to just show up and be a part of it.
That's what's up.
I was a mentor to a lot of the younger kids that I went to middle school with, right? In high school, I was a part of a lot of clubs toward the end. There was all these different moments.
Wow.
I was at I did daycare at the McKim Center one summer, and I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go to this, and it's always funny how it happens. So I did daycare that summer, and I had great times with these kids and these students, and we were building. Ended up at a Parks and Rec the next summer.
Wow.
Had somebody mentor me who ended up being a teacher and actually went to college for history and told me, brother, you're going to skip out on that part because I took on the debt I didn't need to. If you want to, oh, word. So he just gave me a lot of game and built me up. Shout out to you.
Yes.
I'm forever grateful for that, brother.
Yes, sir.
And that was it was so many steps along the journey. And in college, I ended up getting a mentor who started a group called something for black. It was a black male think tank, but it started with Dr. Tomlin.
Dr. Tomlin?
Dr. Tomlin. He was at CCBC. And he's a PhD now. It's awesome. It's interesting to have watched him through his journey because he was writing his thesis papers and working up to it as he was giving me opportunities. So he allowed me to be a mentor in this program that he started at CCBC. So I'm mentoring first-year college students as a first-year college student.
Wow.
Black Male Think Tank gave me opportunities and a network of brothers who were doing things bigger than I was and trying to figure out what their next step was as well. We ended up in a lot of different spaces because of that. And that was because of me trusting somebody that didn't look like the type of person I should trust. Shout out Dr. R.
Yeah.
She's awesome as well. And all of that comes full circle to be Dr. R being the reason I knew about the fellowship at City Neighbors.
City Neighbors.
So as I'm stepping into that space, she's guiding me through the process. She's letting me know what could be a flag, what may be something to sit with a little longer. And I stepped into that because I got tired of the tech job. And I called one of my friends from the think tank, and because he was working at City Neighbors. Jared Anderson, awesome teacher, right?
Wow.
He was working. I was like, all right, there any ways I can teach at a school right now? I just want to try it. I don't know. Is like any subs? He's like, yeah, they're doing substitutes for $100 a day. You just got to come in from the hours you work. It's like, I don't know if I can lead a job. So, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't this streamlined linear process. It was I was like, I don't know if I can lead a job. And the pandemic came.
Wow.
And life shifted.
Wow.
And the job I had was more annoying than what I was ready for anymore. Like I could no longer stomach it. And the people were great, but my values had shifted. And that's a bigger thing too. Is like people don't stop being who they are. You just start to see them differently because you value something new now.
Absolutely.
You're like, why they always drinking? You was cool with it when y'all was all drinking together.
When y'all was drinking together, it was all good.
Yeah, but it's like don't allow the thing they doing to change your view of their character. Because if you enjoy something about their character, look for what you enjoy. And trauma bonds are something separate. So if you bought it on trauma and negativity, you're going to really have to unpack that.
You're going to have to unpack that one for real.
But just sitting with like every step was like bit by bit and stepped into virtual teaching. I didn't know what that was about to be. And teachers are leaving as I'm stepping into it.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm walking through the way, walking up hey, that's kind of cool.
And people jumping off the ship. They're like, whoa, I'm still going in that direction.
Guess what I was? A master of technology. I already was using a virtual space at the job I left. I already understood Zoom tech, mic tech. I had my iPad. I was rolling in Zoom. So it was meant for me to do it that way.
Right.
Because if I stepped in as a sub, as the somewhat dweeby tech guy.
Oh my goodness.
And didn't get my wings from Tracy Pendrick. I didn't get my wings from Tranisa Brown.
Wow.
I wouldn't have been there for the 3 years I was.
Wow.
Then in the first year I show up, mid-year, a yogi graduates. Mid-school year, Yogi graduates and said, "You need to do this yoga program I just did." Teresa Brow. She did a yoga program with Changa Bell.
Wow.
And she just kept saying, "I want to see you do this because I see how you're showing up and you really love this and I know you can benefit from it." So I don't know what she talking about, man. And again, I'm telling you, it's not linear. I was running from it.
You open yourself up.
And it was a slow opening. And that's what I want y'all to understand. No matter how long it takes for you to open yourself, just allow yourself to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for being slow to action.
Oh, absolutely.
Forgive yourself for not being as receptive right away. Forgive anybody who's done you harm. I say everything is for my betterment because everything I listed was not a pretty sight. Right. I had somebody threaten me when I was at the library because of a misunderstanding.
Sure.
I had I had to leave the library. So I've left many spaces. I left and came back twice.
Yeah.
Twice to the library. And both times I left, my man was like, "I don't want to see you go." And it's like, every time I try to leave something, it's just a lot of dramatic moments. And even leaving the school recently.
Wow.
Like leaving the school, I've always had to, in some way, step out on some type of faith.
Yeah.
Not just the type of faith.
Wow.
You know, I had to step out on it in a major way.
And your skills open up the space for you to say, "I needed this over here, but I can use it in a different way in this space right here."
Because I'm still intentional about educating.
I
want people to understand that Darvo is a thing. I want people to understand that. I want people to understand that the black male experience is one that we have to respond to.
Yes, sir.
In correcting. And I was speaking on this earlier. I did a podcast with Angel King Wilson, who is a publisher, awesome individual. She is a publisher, author, filmmaker, black woman from the city of Baltimore, Beachville Elementary. I'm just shouting that out because I can't. But if you understand the city of Baltimore, you know what that means.
Yes, sir.
In some way. So she's from our city, doing great work. And we had a conversation about how somebody threw trash on the ground. After she just finished a cleanup, she asked them to pick it up. And they said, "Mind your damn business."
Right.
And she said, "I minded my damn business."
That's right.
And it's people that aren't protected. And that one incident just shows me a lot. That man is hurt too.
Yeah.
That man is hurt.
He is.
And it's like, I don't want to see people hurt because of the one that's hurt. So my intention is, let's build these boys up to not be perpetrators of hurt, not be pushing that hurt out, and find a way to transmute this energy into something more positive.
Yeah, like when you look at the statistics and you look at all the things about, black boys in our community, we're at the bottom. And being at the bottom, when we grow up, we don't think that we're at the bottom. We have an illusion that we're somewhere at the top, or we moving forward.
So I'm a man.
Yeah, because I'm a man now. But it is. I mean, you have this thing where you want to be the provider, you want to be the person to do that, and in a lot of cases, there are guys that are able to do that. I was just one that I felt like I was, a man. I was going to provide for my family. Whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen. We're going to work it out, and we're going to move forward. A lot of people put a lot of stock in their job, their what they do, how people approach them, all of these different things that really, at the end of the day, doesn't matter, because your job is you're working for somebody else to be rich. You're the things that you're like that guy that said, don't, mind your own business. What he's really saying is, don't correct me.
Don't tell me what to do. I do what I want.
I do what I want. And we, as African-American males, we don't have that ability. And so at that moment, it's just like the slap that was heard around the world with Will Smith, At that moment, you have this gumption. It's calculated because he knew that she was smaller or whatever. It's a woman. It was calculated in an instant, in a second. And so he actually exerted himself where he could, whether right or wrong, indifferent. So that's what we want. We want to be respected. We want to have some resemblance of that in our lives.
And what
But
is
it's
the
been
process of going about getting it? And that's just like,
well, if I knew that, I'd be really rich, right? But
but I say this to say I respect you.
I'm grateful.
Not for what you have,
I'm
what you
grateful.
represent.
I'm grateful.
All right? I respect you for the values I see within you.
I'm grateful.
Your values are greater
Yeah.
than anything you could show me, anything you could give me, because you give so much with your presence alone.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
And it's that part. I'm grateful to know you. I'm appreciative for everyone that I come across. I'm grateful for them because it's not about the Benz in the parking lot.
Oh.
And the people that really have the Benz and don't like care about the fact that they have it, don't bring it up in conversation.
Right.
It's just another externality of their life. And externality isn't what made you the person that you are.
Yeah.
The Benz didn't make them the Benz owner.
Yeah.
They were the Benz owner before the Benz came.
Right.
They were the Benz owner when they were at Bowie State. They were the Benz owner when they were at Morgan, barely paying for the classes. Like, so it's what I love about just all of this process is you respect yourself first. You do not respect yourself by putting garbage on the ground after you saw somebody do work.
Right.
You do not respect yourself when you kill a man who looks like you in your own community.
Yeah.
And it's not to judge you, it's an assessment. I can only give you love that I give myself.
Right.
I have to give myself the conversation I gave you.
Right.
And if I don't give you that conversation, if I don't give myself that conversation, I got to find some way to I have to have that in me somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's in there.
It's in there.
It's in there. It's in there.
It's like, how do you honor it?
For everyone it's different. Where when I talk about, certain things that I do, okay, here's one. I would go camping with some buddies of mine and they were like, your son's running around without any shoes on. I said, I know. Well, why? He can't do that. I said, he can. And,
He's doing it.
It's allowing people to be themselves. Now, if I had gone to my child and said, no, you put on shoes because I'm trying to, show up for them, and that's not what he want to do, that's not what he feels comfortable with, he's actually doing a better job than I am because actually he's grounded.
Because he understands his comfortability.
Yeah.
And he's honoring his comfortability.
You know how instantly you get charged when you put your feet on the ground? And he walked around with no shoes on he was a kid. Take your shoes off. I was like, where are your shoes? Go get them. I just need to know you still have them because they cost a lot of money, right? Because you got these different feet, brother. But anyway, but yeah, it's like allowing people to be who they are and not assuming that they should be just like you. Not assuming that they should believe everything that you believe, not assuming that they should eat the way that you think they should eat the foods that you think they should eat. I can't.
Acceptance.
You got to.
I know. I struggle with mama. I love you,
yeah,
Mom.
Yeah.
We are so much alike. They don't know we are. It's like we arguing the same point. It's like, we got to go outside. No, we got to go outside. No, but outside. I'm saying outside, Justin. I'm saying out. No, I said, you didn't say outside with the O. I said out. But is that, I think in life, we get our earliest lessons from the people that raise us, and then we're able to take it outside and test out the waters. And outside don't look like inside did. It's just so much with acceptance of all that it is for all that it is. I accept everything as it is, and if I can make a slight adjustment without interrupting the flow, right? Because we stop the stream. cut the string. There's a lot of
it's going to
there's a lot of
overflow on you.
yeah, and then
It's
there's
going to roll
a
over.
lot of life that might be
Oh
impacted
yeah.
by
Oh,
this sudden
absolutely.
stop.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
so it's like, let's maybe just could we tighten up? Could
Yes,
we
sir.
reframe? Could we reframe just a teensy bit?
Yes, sir.
Could I say be love Baltimore and not get shot at?
Yeah.
Don't be silly.
Well, you know, there's a lot of reasons why people hurt other people.
Yes, hurt people.
And I heard that too. You hurt people, but also it's about the brain and understanding how your brain is set up. It's set up to protect you at all. That's its job.
That's its function.
It's set up so that you can survive that next moment and live on to procreate and make more of yourself. So we're not running into bears anymore. We're running into bad words to people, to requests of a young lady to pick something up, and then you bark at her. You know, so it's also that protection. And for those of us that didn't have that protection when we were young, we go through life trying to create it or trying to establish it and saying, why can't I have this? Why can't I feel protected? Even though we really know the truth is that safety is an illusion, right? But we want to feel safe. And that's what this is all about. I mean, if a guy is pushing you the wrong way, and you're like, well, you know, either he's going to get me or I have to get him. You know, that I don't condone, but it's about survival. And you know, the block doesn't belong to them. That's not even that's not even the thing. It's whether they survive the next day. And so we're built that way, but we're also built for connection. And so we would forego connection to protect ourselves. You know, the first thing they do in when you're in trauma is you gather. It's not fight, flight, or freeze. It's that you look around and see who agrees with what is going on or who disagrees. You gather. And then you gather with the people that agree with you. So when Will Smith's wife looked over at him and he looked at the people that he loved and that was with him, and she disagreed. She had a problem. He had, in that split moment, had to react. And so I feel like that's a lot what's going on in our community. I feel like it's a reaction. I've talked to people, well, why did you hurt that person? They would say, I don't know why. Why did this happen? I don't know why it just happened. Because a lot of that stuff is automatic. And
that's the power of habit.
Yeah.
And our habits and habit can either build you or destroy you.
Well, it's a habit of trying to survive. And it wears you down. And so you're on, you're on edge every moment of the day. Like, you're on edge. So someone does something that's really, like, not really out of the way, but it becomes this big deal to you because you want to survive to see another day. And so that's the masculinity.
That's the intention.
Yeah.
That's setting out. But it's like a forced intention to some degree. I mean, I would say not forced, but I've gathered in my neighborhood, there's a limit of food resources. There's a limit of opportunity.
Right.
I've gathered this, but a lot of times it's my 6-block radius. But my 6-block radius is where I feel the most comfortable because it's what I've known, and many of the people I've also gathered have told me what's beyond this space is problematic.
Right.
So this neighborhood is problematic.
Right.
What's beyond it is problematic. Where can I go to feel safe?
That's right.
I isolate.
Right.
Then I go outside, and the people I connect with, they're also isolated and limited in their understanding.
Right.
So it's just a self-defeating, self-fulfilling prophecy of, the reference again.
Yeah.
It's that moment where somebody's walking through a light, you can look at it and say, that's possible.
Right.
And that's possible opens up so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of what's going on is we're living in these isolations, and the information that we get is in isolation. The information that we respond to is in isolation.
It isn't. Oh.
And then we respond openly, and we think that we're in isolation, but we're in the community. So one of the things that I'm doing is reverting to storytelling and allowing people to hear stories of people that have gone through some of the same things that they've gone through, and interjecting how the brain works. Like, you know, the brain stem is here, and how the information comes in your lower part of the brain. And this is a primitive part of your brain that can't tell time. So if something happened when you were 26 and you were in Vietnam, and now you're 60, this primitive part that wanted to protect you from that loud bang is still active. It still remembers that loud bang. It's not serving you well, because when you hear a loud bang, you hit the ground because you're trying to protect yourself, right? So that is an automatic response. So I think once we educate people and tell stories, and when you're triggered down here in your primitive brain, it takes your thinking brain, which is your prefrontal cortex, it takes that offline. So you can't think. All you're thinking about is how to survive that moment. So that's what's happening, is they get triggered, the thinking brain goes off, and then they do something they regret for the rest of their lives. And I think the more that we educate people about how their apparatus works, how their body works, how to be in touch with what is going on inside and out, you know, with yoga, and meditation and that. So that's in a maintenance step. We have to go back to help people understand very basic things. Very basically, when all this information comes up your spinal cord and it hits the base of your brain, it's trying to check and see, is that safe or unsafe? And if it's unsafe, it goes into automatic. The first thing you do is you look for somebody to help you. You gather with the people that are going to help you. And then once you gather with the people that are going to help you, you get into maybe a fight mode, or maybe you run and then they go. So you become a part of that. But if you're by yourself and you think everything depends on you, then you're more likely to do something really drastic and over the top because you want to survive. So we got caught up into that. We got caught up into the possession of things, like, this is my corner, this is my place. We get caught up into that because we don't understand how our bodies really work. We don't understand how our mind really works. And there's information that is available that can help you understand those things. And understanding those things helped me be the person that you see.
Absolutely.
See?
Just like my yoga journey and my different reflections, without that, this isn't happening.
Right.
Because I had to know myself well enough to understand how much of me is within you and everyone else around me.
And all you're get what? Understanding. And I used to hear Creflo Dollar say that all the time. And all you get understand. I used to be like, man, you wearing that out. But
that's the best thing to gather.
That's what
to respond.
Yeah, you have to understand that you have to understand yourself. You have to understand how your body works. You have to understand the science of it. Once you start to understand that, then you say, wait a second, I'm responding to this based on this thing that's happening. I need to remove myself out of this space so that I can survive, instead of I need to run into this thing. So you get some kind of resemblance of self-care instead of self-preservation. You start to override self-preservation and you start to have more self-care.
Survival to thriving.
Yeah, so your knowledge base helps you, they say education, enlightenment helps you move forward in life. Yeah, the more that you get understanding about yourself and how things work, then you're able to be a lot more helpful and useful in the ways that you respond to different things. You might take a step back and say, okay, this is happening to me. I'm feeling some kind of way about this. I need to get to a safe place. Different things like that. But when there is no safe place, you feel that you have to respond because everything is life and death.
And one thing I'm grateful for with my yoga journey is the individuals I've met along the way and the reminders that they give me. One of the brothers that I spoke with, Marquis, he did an event called Niggas Need Love Too. And it was based around the traumas that we experience as Black men. So it was 4 of us in a room speaking about just different things that we've gone through, and it was so much commonality, as it should be.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So in these moments of sharing our commonalities, he took a moment to just speak on how he didn't know if he wanted to show up for it. And there's so much he was going through before he stepped in a room with us. And as we all unpacked, it's wild because we all had that same energy. I didn't know if I wanted to show up. It was so much I was going through. The year had just started. I was in a space of, am I leaving this going to stand? I'm like having all these different things floating. And I was like, I said I would be there. Let me show up. And the reason I went, something was calling me to go there. So I showed up. We had that conversation. And it was just a great moment to build with others and heal with others. Healing is a communal effort. You go to a hospital and it's a community of healers fixing you. You don't have one nurse and one doctor the whole time.
No, sir. You got a team.
Right. And this is the even more powerful part. Everybody who's showing up to help you has a community that they're coming from to give you love and light. So the nurses of our city are coming from homes where people are either, it could be hurting that person, but they've decided to go take that and give light. Or they could be coming from a space where they came from a lineage of healers. It's just so much in all of these parts. But I was grateful for it.
One of the things I wanted to, talk to you about the men's thing. I used to do that about 3 or 4 years ago. I used to do every Thursday night. That's a lot. It really is. Every Thursday night we would do a
weekly commitments.
Oh my goodness!
Especially when you got your own things forming.
Man, it's really difficult to show up because you're like, this week, I have this thing, and that's the thing, showing up. The way we started this whole thing was that you have to show up. You have to be consistent, and if you show up and be consistent, things generally work out. Like you went to that thing despite the fact that you weren't feeling it. And that's about principle. It's about values. And if you have values and you live on principle, then you really, it's really I don't know how to say it, but if you live on values and you have principles that you live by, it helps you get there. It helps you show up. It's like I don't want to be a man. I don't want to be a man that say I'm going to do something. Don't do that. So I'm gonna go anyway. I'm gonna show up anyway.
Like my mother, my uncle, everybody that love me always give me that. You gotta honor your word.
Yeah, you got.
Get that word. You gotta honor. And you fall short of it naturally.
Yeah, you do. You do sometimes.
But it's still.
But also, I was raised to say your word is your bond.
That part.
And then I was raised also to say, my grandfather used to say this all the time. I was like, man, oh gosh, this is a broken record. A tree is known by the fruit it bears. I thought my grandfather came up with that, but of course that's in the Bible, right? But a tree is known by the fruit it bears. He says if you bear some sour fruit, people gonna know you by your sour fruit. They're not gonna come to your tree.
Yes, indeed.
You have to bear good fruit. And so whatever I did, I tried to do my very best. And I didn't compete with others. I competed with myself. Saying, can I do this better than I did it last time? Can I? So where people competing with each other, I'm like, That's not my game. My game is, can I do this better? Can I scale this up? Can I work on this together with a group of people? Can we lead? Can we work this thing?
It's bigger than me.
Yeah, it's bigger than me.
And every bit that I'm allowed to do, it's just that. The parts I'm allowed to do, because I could very much not have permission to do anything I'm doing in this moment. And I don't have to ask man for permission.
Yeah, I mean, but also when the powers that be call you, like getting, a commission position by the governor calling you and saying, yeah, we want you on this commission, right? You go. You feel unprepared. You feel naked. But when they call you, you go and you show up and you present what you have. And lo and behold, what I presented is what people needed. Well, with all the PhDs in the room. And, it's not, I just want to do the will of God wherever I go. I don't want to be in and of myself doing different things. And sometimes it feels like, and I have to back up and I was like, is that me? And so am I trying to create this or that, the other? And I check myself. And that's one of the things I do a lot. I check in with myself. Maybe I should say it that way. I check in with myself to make sure I'm on the path.
A daily check-in.
You have
daily rituals.
It's moment by moment,
yes,
brother.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, it is.
And daily is good. That's a first practice.
Recognize it in every moment. Be intentional about recognizing it in every moment that presents itself, because that's all you have in front of you.
Because I could have said when the lady, to the lady, you're not going to help me.
So I remember what you did.
I remember what you did. No, I said no. I have to reach out to people that have more knowledge than I do.
Shout out to Prophetic Movement Society. Heavy space. He does lives. And speaks on a word, but he spoke about remember, you're reforming this thing that is no longer what it was. No matter, I mean, it may appear to be the same thing, right? It is not. You're in a new space. Mr. Porkington represents something different than what he represented many years ago.
That's right.
Right? It's a newer director, even if it's the same title. Even if it's the same name, is a new person that's speaking to you.
Yeah.
Because they had experiences.
Yeah.
They may have met someone who gave them an experience that may have made them want to pull back, and being is rough within that process.
Right.
So I'm big on allowing people to change. Because the allowances I can give to others are the allowances I can give to myself.
Yeah.
It was hard to see myself in a new light. It was hard. It was difficult to see myself as someone worthy of being a teacher. It was hard to see myself as a leader.
You are.
I stand in it.
You are. You're such a leader, man.
But it was such a, it has been a journey.
Yeah.
And it's been a journey. It's been a constant journey. And I think it's something I'm grateful for.
Oh yeah.
I won't say I think. It's something I'm grateful for. It's something I'm appreciative for. Sir. I'm joyful about it. And I'm abundant because of the people that pour into me.
Yeah.
This man.
I'm grateful.
This man
I'm grateful.
Here, Mr. Archie, he gave me, when the ocean is wild, it's hard to find clarity.
Yeah.
This is moving. Go be still. Because in stillness, when that water sits, you can see through it.
Yeah.
Huh? All right. I went and sat. And then I began to commit sitting to my practice more. Because as a yogi starting out, so let me get these poses.
Yeah, I'm going to hit these poses. I'm going to do this thing.
It's like breath and movement. Put those in sync. Another part about the conversation with Marquis Standback, Daily Growth Yoga, was he sat in the car and he was breathing. He did breath work for like 6-7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying it to say sometimes you're late or you're about to enter a space that you're not prepared to enter. Take a second to be with yourself.
Yes.
Regardless of what expectation is had for when you're supposed to get in there, how you supposed to take a second to be with yourself, love into yourself so that you can go into the space and give more than you would have otherwise. I'm big on that as of late. This podcast started because of me first. I can only give you what I give myself. So me first is to say I give myself as much as I can. So when I come outside, I'm pouring from overflow, not from the cup that I was given.
Yes, sir.
So it's just so much. And I want to speak to you again for sure.
Absolutely.
I want to do it at the 500 acres. That's something I'm putting out there. I want to do it. I want to do it. It's outside time soon. I'm gonna have to get some chest mics. We're gonna have to switch it up. I'm just putting that out there.
Well, you know what? I want to partner with you because I have equipment.
Okay.
You know, and I was looking at, you know, sharing the equipment and doing some stuff and partnering with other people. So I just got wireless mics.
I am a guy from a place.
Yes, sir.
Charm City Bipper.
That's what's up.
Quis The Vndl. Marquis is the name my mama blessed me with.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
One day made better as many days made greater. I'm uplifting you to be in a world that cares. If I keep it to myself, I think that's unfair.
Yeah.
The joy I've been given is best when shared. Visionaries never die. Legends survive through the seeds we sow daily. We get better with time. I'm wishing you peace, prosperity, and many, 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 many lessons.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. Thank you so much.
Pleasure and honor.
Oh,
gratitude.
It's been my pleasure.
Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness.
It's amazing.
Yeah. We were searching for the right way, did a lot of wrong. Can't go back, gotta move on. Gotta move forward, corrections given and accept the living. Still brings pain, even when you're moving with the best.